What's up, guys? Welcome to another banger edition of the Tuck Your Chin podcast. We're here joined with a very special guest. I'll bring him in first. From Creative Pro Wrestling in Long Island, New York, we got Mr. BRONSON himself.
How you guys doing, man?
Good, man.
Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem, dude. And have you heard Mr. Joey Deez is here again? Always a pleasure to have him here, too. And Mr. Metalhead himself, Julian, is here as well.
What's up?
So metal. All right, we're gonna have to touch on that later.
I already told you we're gonna have a whole metal conversation.
And that's where I'll be completely silent.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I have a really, really weird taste in music that if we want, we could talk about at some point.
Yeah,
we can talk about all our music tastes.
It's really off, but we'll get there.
Yeah, hey, why not? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
We'll mix everything.
Yeah. So let's just go into it. So what made you want to get into wrestling?
Okay, so I've been watching wrestling for as long as I can remember. Kind of always been around my family, and it's funny. Like, I really don't have the first match I ever saw was this. I just know. I think the first piece of wrestling I ever saw was Mankind and Undertaker with the Hell in a Cell. But I did not watch that live because at the time I was that was 1998, so I was 3 years old. But my older brother taped it, and I watched it later, maybe in I want to say 2000, maybe. So I was around 5 years old. But I've been around it forever. And I really, most of my fandom is 2000, 2001 and on.
Invasion era over there, or
okay, so funny story about that actually is I skipped all that.
Yes.
I started watching in I want to say around 2000. That sounds like a
Okay.
I feel like 5-year-olds they can form some sort of memory. So I started watching around that age, but I stopped because my parents made me stop watching. I had my little brother, and they were I didn't really grasp how fake it was, and they were afraid of me, doing something in the house to with a baby around. So I stopped for that whole invasion to NWO showing up, and I think I want to say Unforgiven 2002 or SummerSlam 2002 was when I started watching again. Because I remember Michaels just coming back, and so I stopped for that very brief period.
Brock and Rock,
yeah, exactly.
That rhymed.
Which I feel is a weird period for WWE anyway, so I don't really care that I missed that. And I also don't like WrestleMania 18 either. So, and then from there on, I've always been a fan, and I graduated high school in 2014, and when I graduated, I went to college at Hofstra University.
Yep.
And I looked online, I found Creative Pro, I Google searched it, I think, and I saw they just opened up in that March of 2014. And I joined, I think July 1st was my first day. So I went there, joined, had my first match February of 2015, and then pretty much from there on is kind of just where history went. And I tried to balance college and wrestling at the same time, but I found as time went on, I found I couldn't. So I said, well, if I have to choose one, I'm choosing wrestling, and I did. Yeah, that's kind of where it went.
That's
interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Whoever wants to go for it.
Julian?
Well, yeah, I know a lot about. I'm sure you know a lot more about wrestling than I do, but I'm curious to know about your time on GTS Wrestling.
Sure.
Mike knows where I'm going here, but
sure.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm just curious, what was it like working with, being a part of the Hawkins and Grimm storyline, I know it's just like a YouTube thing and all that stuff, but like, was it fun working with Grimm? And,
yeah, sure.
And some of the stuff later on.
Yeah, sure. So one day, I had no idea what Grimm was or any of that. I had no idea. But Hawkins hit me up one day, and he said, "Hey, there's a Party City by you, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Are you free today? Would you mind going there and seeing if there's a CM Punk costume, because the Party Cities near me don't have them." He said, he was like, "Yeah, if you pick it up for me, I'll pay you back, and I'll see if Grimm can have you in his video in any way." And I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know what Grimm was or what a Grimm was. So I said, "Yeah, let me go check." I did, because I had the time, and there was the CM Punk costume. And I said, "Okay, cool." So I picked it up for him, went there, met him at Creative Pro, and that's where I met Grimm, Doo-Hop, Pete Corvus, and those guys. And
Nice.
I think I was involved in some capacity. I don't really remember. And
The ladder match?
yeah, that actually came later, I think.
Yeah, that
that
was like
came
at an
second.
event, I think, if I'm right.
That was a cap show, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was a lot of fun. And the thing that sucks about that is we were supposed to do so much more, but the New York commissioner, was freaking out during our match. Like, freaking out.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why, I don't know, if you watch the match back, Hawkins runs in early and spears Grimm. Because he's like, he spears Grimm, and then he comes right over me, and he's like, "Commissioner's freaking out. We have to end this." So,
Wow.
I think it's
awful.
just, we just beat up Grimm for a second. We were supposed to do, like, a bunch of door stuff. Like,
It was because of what you guys were doing? It was because of what you guys were doing that they wanted you to end it?
the hardcore stuff with chairs, tables.
Yeah.
A fan brought 3 tables, and we didn't get to use any of them because we didn't have time. The commissioner was freaking out. But we were going to use them, too. Like, I was really excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've also never done any hardcore stuff before that point. So,
Damn.
yeah, that's, most people don't know that, but
Yeah.
yeah, working with Grimm, dude, he's I still talk to him, from time to time just to catch up, but always a really, really nice guy. Really, always compensated me if I ever came by his place and filmed something, and he really didn't have to either. And I've always really appreciated that. Still friends with, like, I talk to you pretty much all the time, like Pete Corvus and Tommy and those guys. They're all really good dudes.
That's awesome, man. It just, seeing what Grimm's going through, like, these days is just, it's heartbreaking what he's been going through.
So it enlightened me on that, because I really haven't.
Yeah, me
As far as
too.
the show goes, I haven't really. It did okay. I haven't really checked it out in a while. Me and Grimm will, like, tweet at each other sometimes, like, funny stuff or whatever. But I actually haven't checked out. Weren't they supposed to have a live show?
They were, and GTS Wrestling has been shut down until further notice. And apparently, someone Grimm knows has the virus, and
Oh, God.
Yeah.
and him and his wife divorced and all that, and he got kicked out of his house.
Wait, that's for real?
Yeah.
Stop. No way.
Yeah, he doesn't live in that house anymore.
Whoa. Wait. What?
Wow, dude.
How recent is all this?
Like, he just posted something about it on YouTube, like, about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that.
Oh, wow, really recent.
Him just talking about the whole situation with him and Barbara and all that. But yeah, but the good thing is he still sees his kids, and he still sees his parents. But yeah, it just,
Damn, man, that sucks. It really, really sucks.
Yeah.
I love Dave, man. I gotta hit him up, because that's upsetting.
Yeah.
sorry to ruin the mood, guys, but
No. I really didn't know that. I was like,
Grimm's gonna kill me.
Show, I saw how it worked, so I just assumed that everything is a work, because they always try to do, like, work shoots and stuff like that, like, because I remember them. They're always used to do things on the show and be like, "Oh, all the fans are gonna think this is real, that we really hate each other and stuff."
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a great guy, though. For a while,
Hopefully we can get him.
I didn't think I'd ever shake people calling me mophead ever. People called me that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, most people did, thankfully. But that was like for the longest time.
Yeah. I remember like the first cap event I went to, people were still calling you Mophead, and I was like 3 years old. And I'm like, what?
Oh, dude, his fans are ruthless.
Yeah.
They are.
Dude, I went over one of my ex's place. Like, so we went to like my ex's family party we went to, and the little kids looked up at me, and it was the first time I ever met any of like that side of her family, and I went over and they looked at me and they were like, "Moped?" And I was like, "No way!"
Wow,
dude. Kareem has reach, man. His show has reach.
Yeah,
definitely.
Or at least it did in like 2016. But in 2016, it was like
it was shit. I remember that.
Dude, it was yeah.
Deez,
got a lot of followers.
Go for it. If you want to ask a question.
So my question, if it's a no, then I'll go right into my next question. But very curious to know, did you ever wrestle in middle school or high school as an amateur wrestler?
Actually, I didn't. And what's funny about that is I begged my mom to sign me up.
Mm-hmm.
Begged her when I was young. I was in like elementary school. I begged her. I went there. We all sat down, and the first thing the coaches said were, "This is not WWE. This is not the fake stuff you see on TV." And I immediately was like, "Fuck this." Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse.
No filters.
That's just what I said in elementary school.
Yeah.
I said, F this.
Uncut, uncensored,
Mom,
man.
I'm not coming back.
You know what, man? Me having no wrestling experience ever in my life, my parents always encouraged me. I was always a baseball player growing up. I was always an athlete, and my parents always said I should wrestle. So in middle school and in high school, but I knew what it was all about. And growing up a WWE wrestling fan, I was not interested because that wasn't wrestling to me. But
Yeah, me too.
as we grow older, we understand and respect it a little bit more. And we realize that, so many greats came from, not every wrestler has to be an amateur wrestler. As a matter of fact, the percentage is like even lower nowadays that so many people go and just get trained now and have no background at all. But
Sure.
It was the thing for a while to have some type of background in school. You've seen a lot of greats come out of, amateur wrestling and, a lot of Hall of Famers, a lot of legends today. So it just wasn't like, it didn't interest me, and I never took part in it because I thought like, screw that, man. Like they're on the ground, like messing with each other. They're not doing anything cool. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it wasn't what we fell in love with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt the same exact way. I wish I tried it at least, but I ended up just playing football in middle school and high school, and that was fun, and it got me active, and all that stuff. But
yeah,
nice. Yeah, I always wonder that with any type of wrestler who has some type of background or history. I'm always curious to know, does it involve? There's a lot of wrestlers who played football, basketball, a lot of sports, but it's like, did you ever have any experience amateur wrestling? So that's the thing I always wonder with most all wrestlers.
You know what? The thing is, it does help. It's really just what most carry over is just athleticism, because even guys who are the Kurt Angle, even guys who are in the Olympics for wrestling, you still have to relearn everything from the ground up because it's so different. But if you were a wrestler or you played football or something like that, the athletic background helps.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But you certainly don't need that either. There are plenty of wrestlers that didn't do anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. I mean, I hated football anyway, but I played it. I only played it because I was pretty good, and all my friends played it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But cool. I remember them asking me oh, like, what college do you want to go to play? I'm like, I'm not going to college to play football. That's not what I want. I'm not, like, listen, I'll play here. That's fine. It's like in high school, but that's about where it ends for me.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll go. This is an interesting question I'm about to ask you. So, how did you come up with the name Bear Bronson?
Okay, so it's two separate things. So Bear actually is my mom. My mom has called me Bear my whole life.
Okay.
When I was a baby, always. Just because I was always a thicker, huskier person. So even as a kid, so she's always called me Bear. That was pretty easy. So I got that out of nowhere. Bronson actually came from we were approaching our first cap show, the first Creative Pro show, February 13th, 2015. And me and MJF were going to tag. And Hawkins looked at us and said, okay, do you guys have your names yet? And we said, no, we're still thinking of them. He goes, okay, well, until then, he looks at me, he looks at MJF and says, you're going to be Maxwell Jacob Katz. And yeah, with K-A-T-Z. And then he looked at me and said, you're going to be Joe Vaughn. And me and Max looked at each other and we were like, we panicked. We went pale. We were like, those names are awful. And we felt like we were going to be stuck with those names forever if we didn't come up with names ourselves, which is totally not the case, but we freaked out. So then he ended up coming up with Maxwell Jacob Friedman, which is his real name anyway. And for me, I just kept Joe, and MJF actually came up with from Charles Bronson, the prisoner.
Really?
Yeah, the English prisoner. They came out with a movie a couple of years ago called Bronson with Tom Hardy, and that's where I got the name from. So I just did Joe Bronson, and then over time, I wanted to incorporate. That's when I changed my gear to having a singlet with a bear on it, and I thought Bear Bronson sounded cool. So
Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's really cool to know that where the name came from.
Yeah,
Really interesting.
When you can really, if anyone's ever getting into wrestling, it's always a good idea to look within themselves and like what's a part of them. So
Right.
At least the bear part comes from somewhere, and Bronson
Yeah.
the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how we got our names.
Whoever wants to
Nice.
That's awesome.
go. Yeah. Whoever wants to go ahead.
No, I got another one. So up to date, if you have one, your most memorable moment in the ring. Do you have one? Because obviously wrestling's all about moments, and obviously you know that as an in-ring performer. So I feel like it's very important to kind of. I mean, you probably have so many that it's hard to pick out, but just something that kind of sticks out in your head, where it made you feel maybe really good or proud of yourself or proud of somebody you were working with, maybe.
So, are you guys familiar with Beyond Wrestling?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, last year's American Rana was at Foxwoods in Connecticut. And I remember it was like, I want to say January of that year. It was like pretty much like this time last year. We weren't even really smelling Beyond. We weren't like being looked at or anything like that. And I just thought like American Rana was so cool. Like I thought it was so cool. It was going to be at Foxwoods and stuff like that. And I was like, oh man, I hope I could like make it there one day. Like that'd be pretty cool. And then in, I want to say April or May is when we were contacted by Drew to see if, Drew Cordero from Beyond, to see if we wanted to do the weekly Uncharted Territory series. And we were like, of course, hell yeah. We did that, and nobody expected us to blow the roof off the place like we did. Not even Drew. So that happened. One thing leads to another, and we end up there full time. We were there every single week, and we were like, okay, we're here every single week. I really hope that'd be cool if there'd be room for us at Beyond. I mean, at American Rana. If there would be room for us, that would be so cool. I hope it can happen, but if not, that's okay. It's just cool to be here. And the way the story led up was that we became the quote-unquote tag team aces, or we thought we were. Like, we were just built up that way because we were killing it every week. And we ended up facing EYFBO, who's now Santana and Ortiz on AEW. And that match to me was very different. I was going through a lot in my personal life, a lot of dark stuff, and for that to be like, my family was there, everything like that. It was like this huge venue that was on streaming live and stuff like that, with a tag team that is one of the best tag teams in the world, and to just to be there and kill it. Like, if you would have told me that so American Rana was in July. If you would have told me like the January or February before that we'd be doing that, I'd say no. And that to me stands out as like, I was proud of myself. I was very proud of myself. Other than that, I mean, that was off the top of my head, but beyond this past New Year's Eve, we main evented the Beyond New Year's Eve show with Team Tremendous and the Fans Bring the Weapons match, which is pretty nuts. The first time I ever did skewers in my head, and
yikes,
that hurt really bad. Maybe Ryback, me versus Ryback.
Oh, yep, I remember that one.
Okay, where'd you do that?
That was Creative Pro.
Okay.
That was Creative Pro in 2017, I believe. And I was not ready for that, but my trainers had a lot of faith in me. So they threw me in there with them, and we main evented, went like 20 minutes. And it was good. It was fun. I look back on it and I was just so young, and, I'm still young. I'm only 24, but like, I was even younger then. Like, and I was just a kid, like, thrown in with Ryback. To me, that was like, holy shit. So
definitely, he must be a monster, huh?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, it was really fun. A lot of fun to work with, but it's funny. I look now and I feel like I'm so much better now that I could probably really kill it with them. But I think it's okay. I look back and I'm like, all right, I put on a good basic match with them. Not bad. I was pretty proud of myself for that.
Is there footage out there of that?
Oh yeah, sure. You can Google it.
I gotta check that out.
You know what? Actually, there isn't. I'll just send you a link.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
I remember I uploaded it and it got like 10,000 views. And then I remember, you guys know Smart Mark Sterling?
Yep, I know.
He was pissed at me. He was like, "Dude, take that down."
Oh, okay.
I gave it away for free, I guess.
Oh, okay, right. He wanted you to make a little bit of money off of it, probably.
Yeah, probably, because I know they make money off the high spots. So
yeah,
which is good because we need it.
Yeah. Julian?
Cool. Cool moments there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't off the top of my head. The Grim one was a pretty cool moment. The ladder match. I'm going through my head like what. A lot of Beyond stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
We had a lot of really good Beyond matches this whole past year with both Uncharted territories. And we've just debuted because ever since we started with Beyond, we just got a whole influx of just different bookings and stuff. So just probably the most debuts I've ever had in 1 year. Just like even across the Midwest and a bunch in Canada. We wrestled the Dark Order in Canada this past few months ago, and that was so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a really good year. I was really happy with it. A lot of things blended, so.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
Go for it, Julian.
Gosh, I gotta think of a good one, man.
You want me to go? I got one right here.
Yeah, you go ahead. You go first because I can't think of shit.
So, what's your dream match, Bronson? Like someone you haven't faced yet that you want to face. Tear the roof down with.
That's so hard. So, they have to be active.
Anybody. Dead or
alive.
Yep, dead or alive.
Past, present, or future? I guess future.
Oh man, probably. I mean, it's got to be either Stone Cold or The Rock. So they're my favorites of all time: Stone Cold and The Rock, and Triple H. Those are like the top three for me. Like I look at them like gods. But the ones who actually inspired me to start wrestling myself were Kevin Owens and Jon Moxley. Because I used to watch Jon Moxley before he was Dean Ambrose. Like in his early CZW days and stuff like that. And
that was the hardcore stuff.
Oh yeah, dude, he was a whole different character, and he was really dark. Really, I think it's his best work even still.
Yeah.
But I remember being so infatuated with that stuff, with like his CZW like world title run and his Evolve work and stuff like that, and then I was still, I was really happy for his whole WWE run. Like I was a huge fan and stuff like that, but I still feel his indie work before that was his best.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Owens and his whole Ring of Honor run to me is to me was like holy. I just was so sucked in. But yeah, I'd say any of those five probably are my dream matches. What's funny is people ask me like who I'd want Bear Country to face, and I don't really have any. Like I don't have any dream tag matches. I don't know. I just don't have them.
Young
Bucks? It's cool to maybe. Like I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I guess. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, would you want to wrestle the Revival?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, sure."
How about the Hardys or the Dudleys?
Or Edge and Christian?
Oh, sure. Oh yeah, I'm an active, but I mean, if we're looking at past,
okay.
So if we're talking about like the past, I mean, I think I like the Steiner brothers probably.
Yes.
Badass.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. Okay. Not many people would say that, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's dangerous stuff, so I think it'll work.
Yeah, they're very underrated in my opinion. So.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Which era though?
Which era? Yeah. Yeah.
Are we going like classic WWF, or like is Scott going to be Big Papa Pump during it, or?
No. I'm talking like early WCW.
WCW, yeah. Steiner Brothers, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like so either that or like LOD.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Animal's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, but I don't really have many dream singles matches. Singles tag. Woof. Any dream tag matches to be honest.
Julian, go ahead, dude. You got one?
Sort of, but yeah. I was kind of laughing about the Kevin Owens one because I remember Grimm dressed up as Kevin Owens and fucked with y'all, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why you keep going back to Grimm. It's about you. But
whatever, it's no big deal.
I guess like the big question, I think a good question would be like if you were like to ever get called up to like one of these big companies like NXT or AEW or something like that, like do you think you would still do the Bear Bronson character?
So yeah, because I feel like if we do get called, that's going to be why. I feel like it's going to be because of our tag team. But I have a lot of different, I'm very open to change. So, I would do whatever anyone needs me to. However, I feel like if we were to get called today or tomorrow by somebody, it's probably going to be because of our tag team, Bear Country.
Bear Country.
Yeah, but I have a lot of different ideas. I have a lot of different backup stuff. I have a lot of different I'm always thinking about this stuff every single day. Like what I would do differently if I had to change my whole thing today. I have a lot of different ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of greats start. You know, they get called up with somebody else, or they're brought in as a tag team, and they end up being their own star someday. You know, so there is definitely nothing wrong with that. So if you get noticed because you're in a tag team, that means two people are doing something right at the same time. So that means, you know, you both have an opportunity at something someday. So definitely love that, you know what I mean? Just as much as being called by yourself.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
And people ask me too, like, you know, where would you want to go? And to be honest, either or. They're both, you know, doing great right now. So
Yeah.
well, not right now.
Well,
but,
Yeah. AEW's not doing so good.
yeah, you know, they're both hit pretty hard, you know. So, but you know, either or to me is, you know,
Yeah.
as long as the money's right,
Yep.
that's what matters to me. But
So my question for you is, you know, since wrestling mostly is all about, like we talked about earlier, kind of eras and different time frames. You know, you have different generations of superstars coming in and out constantly, not even just year by year, but month by month and day by day even.
sure, yeah.
So, you know, and you said you've been watching wrestling for a long time, pretty much about as long as I've been watching it. What, if you can describe, so I would say, I'm not going to give you a certain time frame, but can you kind of just compare what you see in professional wrestling or just the wrestling industry in general now compared to maybe 10, 15, or 20 years ago? Just like in your lifetime, I would say. What's your thoughts on like where it is now compared to back then?
You know, it's. Do you mean like content wise, or do you mean like in the?
Just
like,
in general.
Yeah, in general.
Just in general. Like, what do you see wrestling? I guess my question is, what do you see wrestling as now, and what did you see it as back then? Not so much maybe content-wise, but just as a whole, as an industry of what's going on, and kind of, you know, you've seen over the years, like the fourth wall being broken down and everything, and it's a completely different business than it used to be. So, what are your thoughts on that, maybe?
I feel like it's bigger now than, I don't want to say like Attitude Era and stuff like that, but you know, I think it's more known and more watched now than 10 years ago. Like more than like 2010, you know.
Right.
Just because they do a really good job of trying to incorporate the real world into things and like modern topics and stuff like that. So like even like listen, like even shows like, you guys ever watch like Total Divas or Total Bellas and stuff like that?
No.
Like
No.
like,
But I know, yeah.
There are so many people that watch that aren't wrestling fans because they love reality TV. So when people are watching that and they're huge fans of it, even though they're not wrestling fans, they go, "Oh, I love whoever like Nikki Bella is. I love you know, whatever." They follow them on Twitter because that's what everyone does, and then they pulled in that way, and that's where you got all these fans now. Like, I think the women's division is bigger than ever because not just because of what they're doing in the ring, but because they have so many fans now. Like,
it's unbelievable.
Even just people that like, if you look on Twitter, there are people that live and die by like Sasha Banks, Nia Jax.
Yeah.
You ever see the stands? Like you call them like people usually call them stands because.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, like they'll defend them to death. You know.
Oh yeah.
So even like they can murder somebody and they'll still, you know, be like, oh, you know, you know, you're queen, boo boo, like, you know. So like it's in a way. It's a whole different fan base.
Oh yeah.
A lot of young crowds. The kids will always be there, always.
Absolutely.
That's just such a huge chunk of the fan base. But I think it's better because it incorporates a lot of different things now. If you're an older fan and you appreciate more of the in-ring stuff, I think NXT takeovers are the best wrestling that you could possibly watch now.
Oh yeah.
Or anything
I
else.
agree. Or a PWG show.
Yeah, but NXT does a little bit better storytelling.
That's true. That's true.
NXT is WWE mixed with WWE meets PWG.
I can definitely agree with that. Yeah,
Like
I can see that similarity.
One of the greatest NXT matches I think I've ever seen is probably Gargano versus Aleister Black. Just because that match is what NXT is literally. It's story with, banger, crazy matches that have a ton of shit.
Yeah.
But, and then if you go to Raw or SmackDown or whatever, there's also stuff that has, they include every fan that they want to entertain. It's not just one group of fans, which I think is a good thing. I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think it's a lot different. And now you have AEW, who is trying to they're trying to give their own product. And you're going to find that change as time goes on because they're still finding themselves.
Yeah.
What's funny is, and I'm not just saying that because he's my best friend, but I feel the best AEW has done so far is with MJF.
Yep.
I agree.
Because it's one of the only few stories that they tell. A lot of AEW, I don't really watch it week to week just because I feel a lot of it is just matches with no rhyme or reason to them. But which is fine. They're still finding themselves. They have a deep roster. They've got a good roster going. But my favorite stuff I feel is with MJF because it brings the most emotion out of anybody watching the show.
Yeah.
Because you can watch matches and go, oh, yeah, that's fine, that's cool. But when you're really watching with emotion and you're watching MJF give Cody these brutal actions,
oh my god,
that makes you feel something,
Made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it makes you actually feel something.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of appreciation for that. I think Jericho's doing a great job with the Inner Circle and stuff like that, helping the LAX get over and stuff.
The Dark Order. Yeah.
So I love Dark Order. I know they get a lot of hate, but I love them.
I love the Dark Order too. It's so different. And it's amazing. I think, and the fact that they got Brody Lee with them now, it's just.
Yeah, and I love the whole subliminal message thing. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, at first I thought it was going to be Matt Hardy, but...
Yeah. But, I appreciate story.
Yeah.
So I feel... and I think MJF right now is the best... I think
storyteller.
He's in the business by far.
One of the best heels.
I think the best heel right now.
Probably, dude.
Yeah.
The stuff he gets away with makes me laugh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's so authentic with everything he does. So he makes you actually hate him. So
oh my gosh, he does.
That is what a heel is supposed to do. So I gotta give it to him.
But it's funny though because he's getting away with so much that you think he'd get in trouble for.
Yeah.
So. He'll send me a pic. I'll be doing whatever. I'll be at the gym or something like that, and he'll send me a picture and be like, "Hey, check this out." And it's him, a guy in a wheelchair, wanted to take a picture with him, and he's flipped him off. Dude, how do you not get in trouble for this?
He did it with the little kid.
Oh yeah, the little kid was great.
Yeah.
But dude, flipping off a dude in a wheelchair I don't know how you don't get in trouble for that. But
Yeah.
it's awesome. Like, I can't believe it. So I love to see that stuff in wrestling because, I don't know, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
Maybe the wheelchair. I'm not saying the wheelchair thing, but like just him being an asshole.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I'm gonna let you know right now. Like, you can take it from me. That's him in real life, dude. That's not a gimmick. That's how Max is. He's in real life. He's a douchebag. He's great. He's my best friend, but he's a douchebag.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Not a nice guy. Like, it's just some people just aren't nice guys, and that's fine. And I love him for that, though.
You were about to say something, Julian? Go for it, dude.
That's actually was my next question. Like, is MJF a nice guy outside the character, and you just told me what I needed?
No, man. He's
wow.
Like, he's nice to his friends, like, in a way.
In a way.
In a way, yeah. Like, he's him and I have always been very close and stuff, but what you see on TV is really him, and that's why he's so successful. That is not some sort of character he made up. Like, that's really him. And it's actually his dad, too. Like,
wow.
He's just like his dad. Like, it's really funny his dad's a nicer guy, way nicer. His dad's a very nice guy, but Max is
not so much.
Max is his own person.
Yeah, Mike, you got to meet MJF, actually.
Yes, I did.
Tell me how that went. I never got to hear the story.
Well,
Yeah, how did that go?
Okay, so so it was at the Sean Spears cap show, at Lindbergh.
Okay. Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I was like, Mr. MJF, can we get a picture? He's like, you got $20? And I'm like, I looked at my dad, and he looked at me, and he gave him $20. And I was like, you flip me off or give me a dirty look. And he's like, just look at the fucking camera. and he looked miserable.
Wow. Oh, that's your pro pick.
Yeah, that's my pro. Yeah, I wanted him to flip me off. It would have been hilarious.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, he just
He's
wants
like
to,
the only guy who charges people for pictures.
hey, you gotta make money.
Yeah, but it's like it's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That was like, I think, the funniest meet and greet experience I've ever had. It was just he wanted to like sleep or like jump out the window. Those are the two options when you go up to MJF.
Dude, I've been out to restaurants with Max where we've gotten we go to restaurants, get a bite to eat or whatever, and he just starts like hitting on the waitress like in front of everybody. Like, that's just the type of person he is, dude. And like he'll end up like getting her number and stuff. Like it's just his lifestyle.
Remind me not to meet him.
Dude, it's a different experience.
Yeah, definitely. So, my next question, it's actually about like indie wrestling. So, like, what is it like walking out like behind the curtain in front of like a huge crowd? Is there any like stress involved, or is it just like you're in a different mind zone?
It's both. You have to really get into that zone.
Yeah.
Which isn't hard. But it's a different feeling, man. It's addicting.
Yeah, definitely.
This, especially if you're going to go out there, you plan on killing it. Yeah, it could be nerve-wracking, and but once you're out there and you're moving, you're good. You're fine.
Yeah.
You kind of forget that how many people are watching. You forget,
Yep.
You kind of just forget. You just do what you do.
Yeah. Like, was it like hard at like first, like when Cap first opened up, like you didn't know how many people were gonna turn up and stuff like that? I guess.
In a way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard because I was so nervous.
Oh yeah.
So that part, like, I was terrified. But we always had really big houses because at first we all, like, everyone on the show would sell tickets to their families and stuff. And then that just kind of turned into fans, like, people becoming fans and then spreading the word. And so now, like, now we kind of just pull a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. That's from a first-hand account. Like, a lot of people show up to every show, even if it's an open house.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah. Deez or Julian, go for it. Or I'll go again. What is it like training under Hawkins and like Pat Buck? Is it like special? Like, do they have a lot of like a knowledge that they bring to the table and stuff like that?
Oh, dude, it's the best. You have to remember, Kurt Hawkins.
He's a goat.
Him and Pat are both such fountains of knowledge. Brian, when he was an edgehead, you have to remember he sat under like Edge and the Undertaker, listening like the whole program that they had, sitting under them and listening to how they call matches and watching them wrestle, and you gain a lot from that.
Can't get much better than that.
No, not really, dude. And you know what? He's worked with the best in the industry, and he had the best training, by far the best training, being under, when Hawkins was in Deep South Wrestling and Developmental, and Pat was in OVW. And they both had that hard knocks, hard training, and they passed it down to us. And we all had to work really hard for it. But it benefited us greatly, and I think Creative Pro is a place unlike any other.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be a professional wrestler, because you're gonna get the best, and it's always what really attracted me to Creative Pro was how positive of an environment it is. It's positive. There's no bullying and nothing like that, but it's also we all push each other to work harder because it's a really, really good environment. We're all trying to be the best in the room, and that's why it's popped out people like MJF and Chris Stat, and because it's formed these professional athletes into being the best versions of themselves that they can be.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah.
All right. Do you have a favorite finisher of all time from anybody in any promotion, anywhere, any era of wrestling?
It's got to be the Stone Cold Stunner.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
It just has to be. I feel like that's the answer. Either that, pedigree. It's got to be the Stone Cold Stunner or the pedigree.
Okay. Good choices.
Great choices.
Yeah, it's got to be those.
Okay, I got a question. So like me, like I'm huge into like wrestling and video games, and like you said, you're a big Xbox guy. Woo.
Yeah.
And so there's these wrestling like gaming streamers called New Legacy Inc.
Okay.
And they're fucking hilarious. But I have to ask you this question. Speaking of finishers, what are your thoughts on the finisher, the Overdrive?
Ooh.
Can I ask? Did somebody ask you to ask me that?
No, I'm just curious because their host Johnny, who's pretty funny. That's his favorite finisher. I just want to know your thoughts about it.
There's no way. I'm sorry. Somebody must have asked you to ask me that.
No one asked. I'm a New Legacy fan, and that's like the running joke they do. But that's a legit question I ask, and I want to know
because it's the worst finisher of all time.
It is. It's fucking horrible.
Like I've had so many car rides with people about this where we try to think of what are the worst finishers of all time, and it always ends up being that. When we're on really long car rides and we're really thinking like, dude, like you're hurting your own knee.
Right.
Is this is this a neck breaker of some sort? Is this the
it's like MVP? You don't remember MVP? The Playmaker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't Carlito used to use this too?
No, he used to do the Crossroads.
He also did the Backstabber.
Yeah, I think Heath Slater used the Overdrive for a little bit back when he was in 3MB. Which
just for clarification, so the Overdrive is where you put the leg on the back of the neck.
Yeah. And then you have the person's arm and then just go forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's the move.
Have you ever played the GameCube game WrestleMania 19?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I
It
used
was
to play
Orton's, it was
GameCube.
Orton's finisher in that game.
Oh, the ozone.
Oh, okay.
The freaking ozone.
Oh man.
God,
Yes, it was called the Ozone.
I forgot
That was
about
when he first started, right?
Maybe.
Yep.
I don't even ever remember him using that. I just remember before the RKO, he did a top rope cross body as a finisher.
Yeah, he used the overdrive too. Now that I remember, yep, he did.
I just looked up the move, and oh my god. They showed it on Raw last night. I'm not sure if any of you watched it, like when they were showing the MVP.
The
video.
vignettes for MVP announcing the Money in the Bank participants.
They showed the overdrive.
God, I just cringed so hard at watching that.
That's great, dude.
Freaking overdrive!
Yeah, it's the worst finisher in the history of wrestling, and that's why I thought, like, there must have been, like, one of my friends, like, asked you to ask me that. Because it's, like,
No,
the rip.
Yeah, because, like, I don't know you. Like, this is our first time actually talking and meeting, but, you know, like, I'm a big wrestling mark, and, you know, I know of you and your character and you wrestling, but, you know, like, we never had a sit-down conversation, and I didn't know you had conversations about the overdrive with your wrestling buddies. But,
100%.
Yeah, I just thought it would be a great out-of-context conversation, but, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
so it's like, it's that bad? It's better to have a normal suplex as your finisher than the overdrive?
I agree.
It's more damage, yeah. I mean, you're not also hurting yourself.
Next question. End the overdrive conversation.
Please go for it.
No, that was it for me, man. Like that. Those were my questions. I mean, I have a whole other list here, but those are Mike's questions, so I'll leave those to Mike.
Yeah.
But
have a
no,
whole
that's
list.
all I got.
So
Now that we covered the overdrive, you know.
Yeah, I also wanted to add something. John, his favorite faction is the Fortune 4 from TNA.
Yikes!
Yeah,
Whose favorite faction?
the Fortune 4 from TNA.
No. Who likes that faction?
It's a Twitch wrestling channel called New Legacy Inc. Shout out to
Gotcha.
them, they're awesome. But yeah, like they make fun of Johnny because like he loves the overdrive and his favorite faction is the Fortune 4 from TNA.
who was in that? I don't think I watched
Like
TNA.
AJ Styles.
It was Styles, Lance Storm. No,
Eric Young.
No, Eric Young was in Team Canada. No, it was
Right.
AJ. It was AJ. Wasn't because it was AJ Kazarian, Robert Roode, and James Storm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good.
I mean, the people in the stable are...
Yeah, but it was
There's talented people in the stable, but it was just forgettable.
Yeah.
Fortune 4.
I mean, I know of better factions than that, so I mean, that's all based on opinion, of course.
I mean, I can name one. Bear Country.
There you go.
That's for sure a better stable.
I always joke, like, I want, like, to add more bears to it to make it a faction.
Go
So,
for
like, Falaba would be our panda bear.
Oh my god.
Bull James, even though he's a bull, he's just a bear-like person. Bill Carr. You guys know Joe Gacy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like, just more bear-like men that we could add to our little country bear universe.
Definitely.
Like Avatar Country.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a good one. I know a lot of people from Cap. Have you ever worked as an extra for WWE? Like, I know when we had Clash on here, he did like Bray Wyatt's thing.
Sure.
With John Cena. Like,
Yeah, I've been I've done a lot of extra work. So I guess you guys don't know who. Did you guys see Santa Claus won the 24/7 title?
yep, that was you.
Yeah.
Shit, I forgot. That was him.
That
Who was
you.
that?
So that was me.
No
Oh
way.
my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm technically a former 24/7 champion.
You heard
I
it
knew
here on the
you looked
Tucker Chin
familiar.
podcast, guys. Former 24/7 champion.
Dude,
is
let
in
me
the
tell
house.
you that my brother is the biggest Christmas fan ever. He's a holiday guy, right? So
Okay.
when he doesn't watch a ton of wrestling, but he will once in a while, like when we're all together as a family. But I'll send him clips here and there of certain things, and I send him like a lot of, when The Fiend started doing a lot of his stuff, because my brother's into like the horror type stuff, so
Sure.
he liked the horror type stuff from The Fiend, and so I was sending him clips nonstop. And then it stopped for a while, and I didn't have anything, that was good enough to send him, but that clip came around, those clips came around of R-Truth and Santa Claus, and I was like on it, man. There was like 4 or 5 different ones, and I just sent them all to my brother. I was like, you gotta watch these, especially since you're such a Christmas fanatic. And that is so funny that was you.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
That was me, and it was really fun.
I knew you looked familiar.
That was cool. That was really cool.
And then I'd say the one other, I've done extra work a lot, but like I've done it so many times, but I was only used twice. So, actually no, I was used a few times because I've done No Way Jose's conga line like 10 times.
Oh my god.
Which
Yikes.
is always like,
What'd you dress as?
I don't remember. It was all the clothes are really smelly because they don't wash them. They stink really bad, so I try not to like wear too much.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing I did for them was the Santa thing. But I would say next up was, do you guys remember the SummerSlam main event a few years ago? It was Brock with the title versus Braun versus Roman versus Samoa Joe.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So the Raw before that, there was a huge schmoz at the end of Raw between Brock and Braun with security.
You were one of them.
You were a security guard?
I was a security guard, yeah.
How fucking scary was it? Standing
It
between.
was terrifying.
Who did you have any contact with anyone?
Yeah, Brock.
Yikes.
Oh. Oh, god.
Would you get a
that's
clothesline?
terrifying.
Dude, it was terrifying.
What was it, a clothesline?
Something like that. I don't really remember, but I just remember him putting his hands around me and me being like, "Oh fuck."
Wow. That's wild. So you get, is that a lot to do with Kurt Hawkins, or is there other connections there?
No,
Yeah.
he hooked it up.
Awesome.
Yeah, he kind of just has that whole thing, and usually the way it works with extras is they'll have someone they trust in the area, and they just say, "Hey, do you have a few guys to do this?" And they send whoever they trust. Trust, if Hawkins can look at me and say, "Hey, you're not going to strip down naked on TV or go try to attack Brock, right?" or something,
Yeah.
Whoever they can trust to be a professional and go do what they got to do.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we've heard the stories. Like, I remember being there, and I think one of the refs told us about an extra that followed Triple H into the bathroom.
Wow.
Tried to, like, ask for a job.
Oh, God.
That was,
We've heard about that. Heard a lot of.
That's a good way to get a job.
Yeah.
I heard that's the way to get a job nowadays.
Yeah.
just ask in a bathroom.
You just
Was he
follow,
like at the urinal
follow
next to
somebody into the bathroom, yeah.
Yeah.
Just go into the urinal next to him.
Yep, that's probably what happened. And yeah, those are the extra stuff I've done.
Like,
It's always a lot of fun. The catering is always the greatest.
Oh, I bet.
The food there is so good.
so like
Yeah.
when you were Santa, how hard was it like not to laugh like during that whole like segment? Because I'm pretty sure
Really
like,
hard, and it was also really cold. So,
Yeah.
like, my glass, if you watch the segments, my glasses keep fogging up. And Hawkins asked me through text, he's like, how did you see? And I said, I didn't. I didn't see. So when I was running into the horse carriage thing, I was, like, blind.
You could have, like, hit into a horse.
Dude,
Or
yeah.
you could have hit anything, really. Yeah.
Yeah, but they were all really happy with it. And it was a really big production team and stuff. And
Yeah.
That was when,
Devon
in Brooklyn,
Dudley
right?
was there. He was helping me out a lot. He was really, really nice about it. And
Yeah.
Yeah. That was in Brooklyn, right?
no, it's right in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Where?
Times Square, right?
There was a segment that they did at the Roosevelt Tree. You know, the
Oh, like Rockefeller Center?
I'm sorry, yeah, Roosevelt. That's by me. Rockefeller, you're right. Rockefeller
Yep.
Center. They did a thing over there. Where we did it was Central Park and at Columbus Circle, right by Trump Hotel.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was entertaining.
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Everybody was super nice.
That was our truth.
Oh, he's so funny. Like,
Oh, he's the best, man. He's
Underrated.
Yeah.
oh, I accidentally busted Tozawa open with the
the bag.
when I hit him in the face with it. Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
because they told me they were like really hit him, and I was like, okay, fine. And then I did, and he ended up. Yeah, it was really.
Poor Tozawa.
He just seems like such a nice guy. Like he probably was just like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. He was. They were all. Everyone there was very, very nice and super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot who all was in the segment. I know it was Truth, you, Tozawa, and who else was a part of it? Was it like Mojo Rawley?
John Cohn.
Yeah, John Cohn was the ref.
I don't think Mojo was there, right?
No, just Tozawa and
Truth.
Truth. Yeah,
That's cool, man. That's
just chasing
definitely
each other around, and then
yeah.
John Cohn ended up screaming in the end that he was done chasing them around and stuff. It was really very.
That was great, man.
Yeah, that's
getting on the.
And that was in December. That must have been super cold.
Oh, dude, it was freezing. New York was freezing.
Oh yeah.
Dude, we filmed for like 6 hours, dude. Like, cause they had to scout locations and stuff. I remember I was there from like 5 o'clock to like 1 in the morning.
Oh,
I remember I got on the train. I just got on the last train to go home.
damn.
Was there a lot of attention from outsiders, or did they kind of not notice what was going on? Because I know anytime there's like a camera around.
No, they knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an issue.
Yeah, you guys probably had to kind of work around that, kind of not pay attention to it.
Devon would be like yelling at people like, "Move along, please!" Like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, man. I'm glad you got that experience. That was a special one.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I remember the Shook crew being a part of the conga line.
Oh yeah.
That was at the Coliseum, Raw, I think. It was the recent one. 29th July?
Yeah, either that or Barclays Center, one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like the night after SummerSlam. I think it was No Way Jose was in like a dark match.
Then that was Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably Brooklyn. Yeah.
Right.
So
I don't remember this stuff.
Julian, you want to go? I got a few more, and then we could move to the music combo.
Music questions. You do yours, because my next couple questions are music related. So you go on ahead, Mike.
So so I'll go with how is it behind the scenes at an indie show? Like stuff we don't see. Is it like a lot of planning and stuff like that?
It really depends on the show, to be honest. A lot of it's very low key. Everyone really is just doing what they have to do.
Yeah.
It really depends on the show. You just get with the people you're working with. You talk to them, and whoever sells merch, and yeah.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that. I enjoy when it's very low key and everyone just kind of keeps to themselves, because that's kind of the person I am. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty low key. It depends. If depends how many friends you have at the show, and if you're just shooting the shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Beefcake likes to drink a lot, so my partner, so he'll always drink at shows. I drive anyway, so
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. So like, have you like, what was your like? I guess like your favorite event you attended. I'm not sure if you attended like events like when you were younger at like the Coliseum and stuff like that, like a pay-per-view or like a Raw or SmackDown. Like, do you have like a favorite one you went to?
WrestleMania. I've been to a few WrestleManias. I went to WrestleMania 29, 30, 31, and then 33.
Now, did Hawkins get you in the?
Oh, you were at 31, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I was there as a fan.
Oh,
I was at those ones as a fan, and then at 33 I was a fan, and then I went to 35 as an extra. So I went to last year's as an extra.
Yeah. I know.
What'd you do at 35?
I didn't do anything because I had long hair. They needed everyone with short hair to do Batista's entrance, and that's why like the Shook Crew was in it. A lot of Cap guys were in it.
Batista's entrance.
Yeah, Johnny Clash
like,
was in there. Was in that one. He, if you like saw him, you would.
Wait,
know.
what did he do again?
It was the SUVs, and the guys in suits.
The Hollywood, like he's like the Hollywood megastar and all that.
Yep, gotcha. I remember that.
Yeah,
it was before his Triple H match.
Yeah, of course. It's kind of just flipped my mind there.
And I, along with two other guys, weren't used because we had long hair.
Damn. Really?
Yeah. Yep, because we had long hair.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, they all
but
kind
any WrestleMania I get to go to, I think is just the most unreal experience. That really just gives you that like feeling, like that home feeling.
Yeah. Like, were you supposed to go to like 36 before they canceled it, or no?
No, I didn't have any plans to go. I had plans to go to Orlando or Tampa. I was going to go to Tampa to do indie shows, but that obviously all fell through.
Fuck Corona. So like, what's your like biggest goal in your career? Is it to get on TV, like as a like full time, or is it to just like keep doing indie stuff, like that cool stuff?
Well, I mean, my ultimate goal is WWE. That's always been my ultimate goal. But I just work very hard. I kind of just whatever comes to me. You learn to keep your hopes down. You know, just kind of just work your ass off, and if there was an opportunity on the table to go to Japan, I would love to do that. But I'm not going to sweat over it.
Yeah.
Same thing with like AEW, Ring of Honor, any of those things. Like I don't really sweat over anything because we're having fun right now. So, and we're doing pretty good. So as long as kind of just working my ass off until just letting it come. And
you're really young still.
Yeah, and whatever comes along the way, comes along the way. And the ultimate goal, is WWE one day.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Go for it, dude. My bad.
I was just gonna say, like there's a lot of great, wrestling companies out there. Of course, we talked about PWG and all that stuff, but like even stuff like Mexico, like AAA is still, big over there. We got MLW, who. Are any of you guys familiar with MLW?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm one of my closest friends today is even this whole past year is Rich Holiday. Him and I have grown really close over the past year, and he loves it there. I'm very weird about contracts that aren't WWE or AEW.
Yeah.
I'm very weird about that. That's just me. I'm even a little weird about AEW contracts, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
It just it would just have to be the right scenarios. The same thing with Ring of Honor. Like, I'm very weird about signing anything that's not WWE.
Even Impact.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, if they were like one-off stuff, of course, I would love to. I would love to. But to me, it's just not. I don't know. It really, really has to be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
one
I like-
more.
Yeah, I
go
like
ahead.
bringing up MLW because, like, there's a lot of cool guys over there, like Jordan Oliver,
Yeah.
who's a really, really talented competitor.
Sure.
Him and his group. They got Low Key, they got King Mo, which is interesting.
Sure.
Yeah, they have all these like big names over there, and like, yeah, I definitely think I feel like your character would definitely fit over there. Like they'll do like the big hardcore stuff, and occasionally they'll do like the wrestling and the classic wrestling stuff. You don't really know when it comes to MLW.
Yeah.
All right, you go on ahead, Mike.
Yeah. This is my last one. I never could go into music. So, like,
Yes.
is there someone you enjoy working with in the ring the most? Like, as an opponent? And we'll go with an opponent because I know you love working with your tag team partner. Is there, like, an opponent you just love facing because you guys just, like, have chemistry every single time?
That's a great question.
Thank
Yeah, just to really think about that, off the top of my head, Dan Moff.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I've just had incredible chemistry with him. But other than him,
Clash?
damn. Yeah, sure. Yeah, him and I have had some good matches.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to think of who I really clicked with, like on a weird level.
Yeah.
Would probably have to be like.
Who did you face? I'm trying to think back too. Shit.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking like who I really clicked with. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, we're having a good match. I find that we really have clicked with Colin Delaney. We've had a few tag matches against him and Cheech, and that's To Infinity and Beyond. That's their team name, and we've really clicked well with them. I feel.
Yeah.
Main State Posse. You guys ever met? Have you guys ever known them?
Heard of them, I think.
These two guys, we really, really click with them. But yeah, I'd say singles wise, I'd say Dan Moff, Clash.
Pat Buck, you had a few good matches when he was champion. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, just coming from being trained partly by him, and I know his style and stuff. So yeah, it's always fun mixing it with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but off the top of my head, those will probably have to be it.
Yeah. I guess I'll just do one more fun one. So, like, what's the process of putting together a wrestling match? Like, with you and, like, your opponent, is it, like, difficult? Like, sometimes it could be, I guess. Like, if you're, like, main eventing and stuff like that.
Well, you know what's funny is, to me, I try to be as easy to work with as possible. I don't want anybody ever, like, annoyed to work with me. I'm very flexible. But to me, it's all about the story. Where are we with the story? If there is a story. If there's not, I think it all comes down to character.
Yeah.
So what are our characters? And I'll try to just build off that. And I try to make it organic. I try not to force anything. And I find that more people like working with me than people who don't like working with me. I don't really know anybody that I've never met anybody that had a bad experience with me, or
Yeah.
So, and I find that's good. Obviously, you don't want that.
Yeah.
You don't want anyone having a bad experience with you, because that shit travels. So, yeah, I try to just figure out what the mission is for our match. How can we make it different? I always look at the rest of the card. What other matches are on the show?
Yeah.
And try to make sure ours will stand out. And it usually does. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. And then everything else is kind of just formula.
Yeah, firsthand, dude, you're one of, like, the chillest wrestlers I've ever met, dude. Like, yeah. Me and you have some fucking weird
encounters. You meet a lot of
encounters.
people that take this too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Guys that in wrestling that think they're actually stars, even though they're not.
Jim Cornette. Oh, whoops, didn't shoot there. My bad.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hold any animosity towards anybody, but there are just people that think they're way bigger than they actually are, and it's always disappointing. I wish people would just stay a little bit more grounded and just remember who you are and where you came from, because this is just wrestling. We are fake fighting in our underwear, so you're not that big of a star,
Yeah. So let's get to Julian's favorite part now, music. So hit us with your music.
So I have a really weird. First, I want to hear yours, and then I'll be fine because I got a mouthful.
Julian, you want to go first, or Deez? Because Deez.
Yeah, let's have Deez go first. I haven't heard him talk in a while.
Music?
Yeah.
This is not going to be my area, so I'm probably not the person to start this off.
No.
We're
your music.
We're just talking about like what your favorite artists are. Like music you're into, like all that stuff.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, we're not talking about any genre yet.
We're all doing ours.
Oh, okay. I am a big fan of a lot of different types of music. I can't really pinpoint one. I guess I would have to say my favorite is hip hop, rap. That's the music I listen to. But I do listen to a lot of other types of music. I listen to some rock. I listen to some country. I do not listen to heavy metal. That is probably the one genre of music that I don't listen to. I definitely I respect music of all different types, and I enjoy listening. I'm open-minded, so I will listen to anything once. So yeah, I mean that's my take on this. I'm very wide range of music that I like.
Are you
sorry? Go ahead.
No, you go first.
Oh no, you're our guest. You go ahead.
Yeah, cool. Julian's gonna be like a whole list, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna be here forever, dude.
So, I mean, I'm pretty much the same. I have a lot of different music that I like. I would say the only music I don't like is country.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can't. I don't relate to it. But I listen to a lot of really dark, sad shit. So my favorite. So even though I'm more of a rock metal guy, I've taken a real liking over the past year and a half to black metal.
That's my dude.
Yeah, just I've really taken a liking to that and the history behind it, and I love learning about it and its origins and stuff like that.
It's scary shit.
Oh yeah, it's all
like
very
mayhem. Like
mayhem and all that stuff. And,
Jimmy Borger, Cradle of Filth, Behemoth.
Yeah, sure. So I've taken, but I would say my favorite artist, pretty much of all time, right, is for the past few years has been. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Lil Peep.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has become my favorite artist, probably of all time. Based off of not because of his style of music. I'm not the biggest rap fan. Just like because he's a pioneer for emo rap.
Yeah.
And his music has helped me out of a lot of really deep personal stuff, especially over 2019 as a whole for me. Because while my career was doing really, really good in 2019, my personal life was not so much. And his music really, really helped me get through a lot of that stuff. And I credit a lot to him. God rest his soul. But I don't know. Fun facts too. I don't know if you guys know Bryce Donovan from the Shook Crew.
Yep.
Well, he was very close with Pete.
Oh well, yeah. They were both from Long Beach, right?
They're both from Long Beach, and Yeah, that's just a fun fact. But his music has really helped me get out of a lot of funks, and even still, it's very. He has a very powerful message. I listened lately. I listened to a lot of Ghostmane.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, love Ghostman.
Yeah, he's so good. Suicide Boys.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's a name I haven't heard for forever.
Yeah, dude. Like, just that's all that type of music is like what I'm really vibing with right now. As far as like rock goes, I'm a really huge fan of Gojira.
Yep.
Gojira, Behemoth, Slipknot, that whole sort of thing.
This guy's got to check out the Mosh cast. Bronson, I'm going to have to send you the link to our other cast, bro.
Or metal. We should have you as a guest on there, too.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'll do whatever you guys want. I don't care. I got nothing to do. But,
Wait, Tuck Your Chin podcast meets the Mosh cast. Kind of like Ozfest meets Not Fest.
What's
I know
up?
I've heard of them. I definitely see stuff for the Mosh cast. I don't really know what it is, but I've seen it.
It's like mainly just rock. Like we talk about things rock, metal, punk, alternative.
Yeah,
emo,
it's
all
me,
that stuff.
Julian, our friend Craig, and our friend Will. We're having like a few bands on. I'm not sure if you heard of them. They're like, I guess like indie. They're from Jersey. We're having American Grim on there,
Okay.
and we had Matt Dennis of Diamante. I'm not sure if you heard of them. They went on tour with Breaking Ben last summer.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike, I'm actually curious. What about those two other bands I told you about, The Poor and 36
They
Red?
said they're gonna check with their band still, but American Grim told me to email them like right before we started recording.
That's awesome, dude. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm just like, who was going? Bronson, were you done? Or
Pretty much. That's pretty much the gist of it. That's
Yeah.
like what I really.
Right, yeah.
you want me to go? Because I might have a shorter list.
Yeah, I'm going to have a long-ass list,
Yeah.
so you go ahead.
So I'm into like 90s rap. I'm not a big fan of today's rap.
Sure.
Like Tupac,
Same.
Biggie, NWA. Those are like I'm not sure how like rap fans now don't appreciate that music at all. Because like without them there wouldn't be the guys today. That's how I see it. I'm not sure if you guys would agree.
I agree.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
Taking a turn. Rap music today is definitely a lot different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They don't know the music from back then. They're missing the roots of it, you know? They're missing the actual
Story, like stuff like that.
Yeah, the story and the flow of it. I mean, now it's just
All about,
I don't
it's
know.
All about,
It's more
it's all about like money and cool, like how rich you are and how much money you got and how
yeah, and it's just quantity over quality. It's just guys putting albums out with like 21 songs on them.
Well, that's pretty much
to say they did.
that all sound the same.
Yeah. They all
Yeah.
sound the same, but you know what? You have to look in the right spots too. So you have
True.
to look like what the hot spots are right now, and a huge hot spot, especially for today, is Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Artists from Atlanta are real hot right now, but it's kind of just stuff you have to dig through. And I definitely agree, though. It's definitely not the same. Like I've never been a Tupac fan. I don't want to. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble. I just think he's a little overrated.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge. I love Biggie.
Yep.
Old Eminem stuff I think is awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just always.
Yeah. Sure.
See, I didn't really name my my artist kind of like growing up, but you bring it up right there. Nobody better than Eminem. Nobody better than Jay-Z, 50 Cent. For me, it was Lil Wayne and Wiz Khalifa. Like those are true rap artists to me.
Yeah.
And then you have like other genres of music I talked about. I'm also a country fan, but very select few artists I will listen to. I do not listen to a lot of country, but I listen to Kenny Chesney, Rascal Flatts, Luke Bryan.
Life is a highway.
Yeah, and so and Red Hot Chili Peppers, definitely. So those are my groups, my favorite artists.
Yeah, so like going along with the 90s rap, I kind of got into like my friend Rob got me into like the hardcore rap stuff, like Suicide Boys, Ghost Main. I kind of got into HO9909 Horror. They went on tour
Horror.
they went on tour with Korn. They're like just shit I've never heard of before, and I like it.
It's like a punk rock mix with rap.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I started.
Well, it's actually just it's classified under horrorcore.
Well, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence the name horror. But
Yeah.
It's horrorcore really comes from it's from Atlanta.
Yeah. What else?
yeah.
My bad. If you were about to say,
No, I wasn't gonna say that.
Oh.
we're very apologetic.
That's fine.
And then like the first few bands I actually got into growing up was like Foo Fighters, Nirvana, Zeppelin, and then like off of that I found like the more like heavier shit like Slipknot, Breaking Ben, Behemoth, Gojira, all that stuff. But I still appreciate like grunge and classical stuff. But I'm more into like the heavier stuff where I could break my fucking neck too. Like
So what's pretty funny is growing up, I was such a huge Blink-182 fan and Boxcar Racer fan growing up that I felt like I didn't need anything else. So I was very late on a lot of stuff. Like going through middle school and high school, all I listened to was Blink-182, just because they have so much music that I felt like I didn't need anything else. So I didn't even bother trying. I was very late on everything else.
Yeah, Blink's amazing, dude. I'm into like punk and hardcore punk too. Like Knocked Loose. I'm not sure if you heard of them.
Oh my god,
dude, that shit. Mwah, forget about it. I'm not gonna drop another gabagool again.
Forget about it.
I'm walking in.
Yeah. Motionless in White. I'm not sure if you heard of them.
Oh hell yeah.
They've just actually like a kid from Cap got me into them. Justin Finn, shout out to him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, really good kid.
Yeah, dude. He's my like one of my best friends. He got me into like Motionless and
I've always really liked that kid.
Yeah, he's not a big like he doesn't talk a lot like that I know of, but he's like
a huge deathmatch fan.
Yeah, he wants to. He's a Nick Gage guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Justin.
Yeah. Him and I connected a lot on that.
Yeah, he wants to do actually death matches. I think more than normal matches.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, he told me. He told me he wants to be a deathmatch wrestler. I'm like, hey man, power to you.
Yeah, not in New York State though.
Not in New York State.
Fucking
like figure it out.
Yeah.
He's a young kid. He'll
bring the mayor in and shut it down, right?
Yeah, Yep.
Yeah, that's fucking insane.
He's a young kid. He'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt. Julian, go for it. Let's get your long list.
God help me. Well, like
no, God help us.
Yes. Sorry, Joey. This is gonna be more.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I'll just be listening.
Yeah, this is because I know this is way out of your element, but
I won't know anything you're about to say right now.
Let's go. Let's hear it. I'm excited.
Okay, well, like for me, like I've always been a big rock fan. Like the first rock band I've ever like really gotten into was Skillet.
Sure.
Yeah, because like I went to a Lutheran school. You know, like I didn't have much rock and roll, but then like. Yeah, and then like thanks to bands like Skillet and 1,000-Foot Crutch and Red,
yep,
and, a lot Flyleaf, a lot of those Christian rock acts, But then like as I got into like 8th grade and like a freshman in high school, I started getting into like the really heavier stuff. Like Korn was the band that got me into heavy metal.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
And then proceeded to get into people like Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson.
Nice, Marilyn Manson is my shit.
Yeah. I've seen Marilyn Manson twice in my life, but you wouldn't believe the amount of concerts I've been to. Yeah, I got into bands like Disturbed, Slipknot. Later on, I started getting to like more of the alternative rock, like Breaking Ben, 3 Days Grace, and then like Hailstorm and Shinedown and all those other cool bands.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at first, like I didn't really like appreciate metal as much as I did. I just liked a couple artists because like at the time I was into the music my friends were listening to, just so I could seem cool to them. Yeah, but I don't really give a crap about that now.
Yeah.
I changed for the better, I think, because like they were listening.
Smart choice.
Yeah, very smart choice. But yeah, I was just listening to like their like pop music. Like my friends usually listen to like, I don't know, like Justin Timberlake and stuff like that.
Oh my god! Oh, yikes!
God.
Yeah, like they listen to a lot of like the modern rap stuff. Like they listen to
All the
God,
little.
they listen to Lil Pump, which.
Oh, you say Lil Pump? Yeah. My younger brother listens to like everything rap now, like all like today's trap scene, like his favorite, like 21 Savage. And,
Oh.
God.
Shit.
God, you're killing me here. But yeah, like.
So keep going.
But yeah, it's just like I've gotten a lot of stuff, but then around like 2017, I went to my first Warped Tour, and that's where I really started getting into like the Warped Tour like bands, like the pop punk scene. Like I really got into bands like Neck Deep and Hatebreed and I Prevail and Attila.
Sure, yeah.
And then I got into like dance. I became a huge Dance Gavin Dance fan, and then like I started looking up like what are like the most hated bands of all time.
Nickelback. Creed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I only like one Nickelback album, and the rest I just don't care for.
You're killing me. Oh,
I love Nickelback. I think they're great.
Craig is gonna hate us.
I don't understand the hate. But
yeah, Craig is gonna hate us.
So anyway, keep going.
But yeah, they're like I even got into bands like Black Veil Brides, and like now they're one of my favorite bands now, and like I got to meet Andy. Yeah, Andy's super chill. He's super cool. Yeah, but
so I just want to give everybody an update. I do know a little bit about what you're talking about, so that's more than I thought.
I'm good. That's good. That means it's working. We're educated. We like to educate.
I know some of these groups for sure.
Are you a Nickelbacker, Deez?
I couldn't name any of their songs. What's that?
Are you a Nickelbacker?
I'm not a Nickelback fan, but I did grow up in that time. No. And I'm not saying I don't like their music. I definitely think they put good stuff out there. It's just not my type of stuff. It was kind of really slow. A lot of their stuff was really slow for me.
Yeah.
And kind of like sing-songy, and it just for me that's not my type of music,
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think, definitely a legendary group right there that they put out a lot of quality content.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I do know Nickelback. I know like a lot of these groups you guys are mentioning, to be honest with you. But it's all good music, It's all good music, and it's all a lot of it's creative artists that are putting a lot of time into this stuff, and it's definitely not easy to do. So, I know a lot of these groups you guys are talking about are really good with what they do. So just because I don't listen to that music, I definitely understand where you guys are coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the same thing goes with rap and hip hop. Like, right. I grew up listening to music, from late 90s to now. And, I was born in 90, but I'm pretty sure I wasn't probably listening to music until I was about 8 or 9 years old, as far as I can remember, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't listening to hip-hop and rap at 8, but I've listened to that music from the late 90s to now, and it's just definitely not the same,
No.
Yeah, because it's a different generation. Like different generations expect like different things.
Yeah,
like a lot of the newer generation, like a lot of them mostly listen to like the newer stuff. They won't even like listen to like the older
stuff. They don't
stuff.
even know about it because they don't give it a chance. Right? And it's like if we weren't to give 80s or 70s music a chance, whether it's rap, rock, metal, whatever it is
pop,
from that era,
country, or
pop,
disco,
whatever. But you have to kind of expand and listen to different things to understand what's good and what isn't good. And that's what's good about you guys. You guys have listened to some of that stuff from the past. You've listened to what's now. You know what's good. And the same thing with me, and but that goes for all types of music, all types of music, especially nowadays. But music should have a story. Music, every song should have a story to it. And I feel like a lot of today's music just doesn't have story. It's just people trying to show off different skills that they might have, which is really good. And there's a lot of good artists out there and a lot of good engineers and a lot of good beat makers. But if you're not telling a story and it doesn't sound like I can't hear what you're saying, it's hard for me to.
It all really depends on like the genre, though. It like certain genres, like today, like I know for a fact, like a lot of like the metal and rock bands, like they still do tell a lot of these like.
Well, they're definitely better with it than pop and hip hop.
Like they tell these like sometimes tragic and sometimes amazing stories, but like a lot of the media doesn't pay attention to that.
No.
They mostly pay attention to like the Candyland, Disney, pop.
See, like country, metal, rock, all that type of stuff. I mean, not metal. I didn't mean to even say metal because I don't listen too much of it, so I don't know like how much of that storytelling. But I know rock definitely and country do a really good job at doing that. But I think hip hop and pop and stuff like that have really lost their way with that. It's not about that anymore. It's just about putting something out, trying to top the last guy, and trying to top the 25 other songs you did.
Billboards.
So.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I love this conversation.
Hey, we just turned into the Moshcast. Welcome to the Moshcast, guys.
Tuck Your Chin meets Moshcast.
This is the we're rolling right into the
it's right the music podcast.
Change the logo halfway through. Well, that's what
But it's cool because we have a guest who's likes to talk about both, and it's just it's an amazing conversation starter.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, because who doesn't like music, right?
Oh, well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, music it can really, without getting into it, like, it can really help you with any part of your life.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right. Oh, yeah.
No,
I literally tell people, like, Lil Peep, like, you wouldn't even think of it. Like, most people say to me, they're like, oh, I wouldn't even expect you to listen to that. And I tell them, like, no, like, he saved my life. Like, like what you were saying before about every song having to be a story, he tells a story in every single song related to, and I've been like, holy shit, like it's like a new founding of life, like it's and I never get that introspective or like spiritual about anything because I'm just not that type of person. But when it comes to his music, he's really it's different, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Like I guess to like sort of like continue about that, but like I started getting into like rap, like the rap that I listened to like in late 2017 when I saw Yellow Wolf live. Do any of you guys know Yellow Wolf?
Of course.
Yeah, Yellow Wolf is so cool. I seen him live, one of the best rap live shows I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's very underappreciated. I wouldn't say underrated, but very underappreciated because he's incredible. Then I started getting into like Tech Nine and then I started going back and listening to like the older stuff, like Ice-T. I listen to a lot of Run DMC nowadays.
Yeah. Those are like that was like the best kind of rap. It was just like it was like it wasn't about drugs. It wasn't about like sex or anything. It was just rap. Yeah,
but like a lot of like the rock, like a lot of people say, it's like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like a lot of the stuff that the rock people in the rock music industry talked about back then is what a lot of the rappers are talking about now. But but I feel like there's a lot more soul to like the rock part of that, but like with a rap nowadays, it's like I just don't feel anything when I hear that because every single one of them sound the same. Because a lot of the rock artists back then that talked about like that certain stuff, they talked about a lot of different things besides drugs and alcohol and women and and sex and all that stuff. But like that's what almost every rapper nowadays is doing.
Yeah,
and I can't tell when like like even if my friend like sends me like a rap playlist of like today's hot rap stuff, most of the time I can't tell when a song starts or ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, but yeah, and then like later on I started getting into like a lot of the Japanese metal, like Baby Metal, Crossfaith, One OK Rock, and all that stuff, and then I got into like a lot more of the pop punk, and then I got into emo. Like I will say this right now, My Chemical Romance saved my life. Same with like Lil Peep with you, Mr. Bronson. But
Sure.
Yeah, like that's me with My Chemical Romance. And then recently I started getting into a lot of like classic like Motown music, disco music, but which a lot of people is like, you listen to like Earth, Wind and Fire and you listen to like Stevie Wonder and stuff. Like I never expected that, but yeah, like that's how I am.
It's an appreciation for the music, bruh. That's all it is.
Music makes up who you are, dude. It's really, that's the truth.
Yeah, so that's my long ass list.
That's good, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like it's weird to find. It's like it's kind of like weird to find people who like the same music as me. It's all it is. All people like Little Baby, The Baby, Little Yachty, like all the littles. I can't even name like it's like I tried to listen to it. Like, don't get me wrong, I try to listen to it, but I just can't like it. It just
yeah. It all really just depends on like the person and the person's taste,
Yeah.
Like if the person's like trying to like force this music down your throat, what my friends did when I was like in middle school.
That's what a lot of people do these days. Like they see you listening to like rock and stuff like that, they'll be like,
they'll judge you.
No, they'll be like, "Are you like a devil worshiper?" I'm like, "No."
And I'll be like, "Yes."
Well, then I'll start saying yes from now on.
Yeah, like, dude.
I don't care. Yeah, I'm not a devil. I'm not, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
Alistair Black is, and he's doing okay.
Yeah, Alistair Black is awesome.
Yeah.
But and it took me forever like getting to like, because I didn't like when I was first getting into metal, I didn't like death metal or black metal that much.
Me either.
But then
what's weird is I don't like death metal. I think it's too banging shit really fast for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of like bad death metal out there.
Really bad. But black metal to me is a lot more atmospheric, and I like that a lot. And there's like a lot of lore behind it, and I think it's really.
Yeah, because like I like a lot of like different like the subgenres of metal. Like I like a lot of like symphonic metal with like the female fronted singers, like bands like Within Temptation or Amaranth or Epica. Even like the power metal stuff like Sabaton. Like Sabaton's one of my favorite bands, and like it's just like all these different things. And like with death metal, I only listen to like one death metal artist, and that's the Black Dahlia Murder. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to say like, oh, they're not death metal, like a bunch of the elitists. But like with black metal, I didn't get into black metal until I saw Behemoth last year, and like that's when I started like I didn't get it. It's like, oh, like these are a bunch of Satanists, they kill people, But then like when I saw Behemoth live, it's kind of like like I somewhat understood it, and then like. Now I'm like a huge fan of like Dimmy Borgir and Cradle of Filth, like I mentioned earlier. Like Cradle of Filth is more extreme black metal, but it still counts. And then I'm not a huge fan guy.
You start to realize that all that stuff is just lore. Everything about the burning of churches and stuff like that. It's all just lore, and it's all just like it's not. No one really follows that in the black metal scene. It's all myth and legend,
Yeah, and like that's why I couldn't get. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, and like that's why I can't really get into bands like Behemoth, because like the stuff that like people talk about, like like the burning, the church burnings, and like the murders, like they actually did that stuff, and like Behemoth didn't. But.
Yeah, Behemoth. Wait, I thought Behemoth like started burning Bibles like in their country and like got arrested and shit like that. No, the singer did. The singer did.
It's a lot of the old bands. It was So in the early '90s, and we're talking like 1993 here. You ever hear of Mayhem?
Maybe if I heard them, I might.
So
I've heard
The Group?
Yeah, the
Mayhem.
group.
For the people involved at that time were responsible for church burnings,
bunch of satanic gatherings, murder,
stuff like that, and it's all real like kind of shitty stuff. But since then, the black metal scene has changed a lot. And it's that stuff. It's talked about, but it's all just kind of lore. I really recommend, if you guys have ever heard of a movie. A movie came out last year.
Lords of Chaos.
Lords of Chaos. I loved it. I thought it was great.
I wasn't a huge fan of it, to be honest, but and like that's just coming from me. Like I'm like
What's
with
that?
me and horror, and it's for me with horror is like a love-hate relationship with horror. I like certain movies.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't a huge fan of like the Lord's Chaos movie. Like my horror, like I love the like a lot of the original stuff, like the original It and like Friday the 13th and stuff like that. Like that's why I love Ice Nine Kills so much, because Ice Nine Kills, like they're not just a horror movie band. Like every album has a theme. Like Every Trick in the Book was about different novels, and Silver Scream was from horror movies. And like I've been talking with a friend of mine, and I'm friends with Spencer, the vocalist, and like I didn't talk to him, but like me and my friend were talking. It was like we were thinking about like what's the next album going to be about, and we were thinking. And like the one theme we talked about was like maybe the next album will be about like urban legends, or maybe the next album will be about serial killers.
Shit's insane, dude.
Because like there's so like the amount of creativity that goes into like a lot of these amazing albums is just it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Joe Deez, if I had to give you a band for you to listen to that it may change your mind, Tool. Just
I love Tool.
Tool?
Yes. The band is
Tool. Just
Tool.
Yeah.
Okay.
they're more of like
Although
it's like prog metal.
It confused me when Killian Dane came back on NXT wearing a Tool shirt, but I still Tool's great.
Yeah. Tool and Deftones. If you're trying to get into something different, these Deftones.
Yep.
And if you're trying to get back into maybe like it's kind of metal, but it's like prog metal. It's like classical, I guess. Someone told me.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Get back in.
Dude,
Send him to me.
I'll send you for me, like if I'm trying to get, like if my friends like I have a lot of friends that ask me like I'm not huge into metal, but I want to try and get into it. I'll send them like a list of songs. It's like, okay, this is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and I have like these sort of types of songs. Like, okay, this is the beginner stage of like certain songs, and then like I have 10 levels, and like that is like the really heavy stuff like Meshuggah and Behemoth and certain Slipknot songs and like Ministry and stuff like that. So
yeah, but definitely I'll send you I have like a playlist. It's Tool's top tracks. You may like it. They don't scream or anything. It's just like the instruments are like fucking amazing. And the singer
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I'll send you Deftones too. I got into them a little bit.
Be Quiet and Drive is awesome.
Yeah. Definitely, dude. Well, Bronson, here's a good part. Do you have any questions for us? This is interesting when people do.
Every time we have a guest, we do this.
Yeah.
All right. Let me
Take your time, man. We're good.
Questions for us?
Yeah. I do it all the time when we have a guest. Because sometimes
Mike, what was your first cap show?
My first cap show, it was Hit the Switch. It was the one at NCC, the first one.
Right. Yeah, okay.
I was right there, my man. I looked at you and I was like, that's my dude right there.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So how long have you been going to indie shows for?
Well, my first indie show, it's surprisingly, Big Time Wrestling. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of that.
Sure, yeah. That's Dan.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
That was like my first show. It was at Farmingdale High School.
Yeah, they usually run Farmingdale.
Yeah, and I went to that, and then that was like around the time when you guys kept doing like St. James and stuff like that, and it's like pretty far from where I live. So we
don't run there anymore.
Yeah, and then I saw like, oh, NCC, they had Brian Pillman Jr. coming on, and he's like one of my favorites now, dude. He's like something else.
He's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
I love being around him. He's so funny.
I almost got him on this podcast, Brian Pillman Jr., but it was like $30 for a whole hour. I was like, damn, dude.
Oh yeah, you told us about that.
Yeah, I told you about that, Deez.
That's a lot like him.
Yeah, I think it's only because of this quarantine. If there wasn't a
Don't ask for MJF then.
He'll be
say
like 5,000. 5,000.
Yeah.
For like.
And then he'll send you a picture of him flipping you off.
Yeah. Actually, fucking surprisingly, I actually did DM like at the beginning, and he never answered. I DM'd him on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't even
that sounds about like him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's allowed to do these unless it's like Jericho or something.
Yeah, with companies like I would never ask a WWE guy to come on because I don't think they would fucking look at my DM at all.
It'll like depend on the superstar. Like I mean, maybe if it was like one of like maybe a new signing for like NXT or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all really depends on the person. Like maybe someone like Shotzi Blackheart, maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt, dude. But yeah, that was my it was Big Time Wrestling, and then it came around NCC. My mom went there, so we all went as a family that night. And then you guys announced you were coming back again in April, I think that was. April.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and then we went to that, and then I just kept going, dude. It just like from the first show, I fell in love. It was just fucking.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
The cap shows are literally. I mean, I wrestle all over the country and other countries. The cap shows are probably some of my favorite shows ever.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
They're just always really good.
The fans, bro.
Show.
I want to tell you, both of you guys, a story that me and Bronson know. So, the April show, if you guys want to go back on High Spots and watch it, I brought a sign that Bronson ripped up and spit at me.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. Me and Bronson were talking about this like a week before. I'm like, dude, we got to do something.
That's awesome.
I think I have
ripped it up and did what?
And he ripped it up with his mouth and fucking spit it out at the crowd. That's when he was a fucking heel, and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, like what did the sign say?
It was like Bear Bronson for champ, but what happened was Clash wrote over it. Clash wrote over it, Bear Bronson stinks, and he took it and ripped it up.
Oh, that's great.
I kept the autograph.
You should have put Mophead.
Nah. Oh, what other weird shit did we do? Oh, last show, we were fucking waiting in line for the bathroom because Ref Steve was fucking doing his hair for like 2 hours.
Oh my god.
I was like, dude, this guy in there, is he okay?
Oh my god. That's so good.
Yeah, it's fun. Like some of the interactions I have with the wrestlers are fucking hilarious. Clash, it just like he just looks at me. He knows I'm in front row and I'm the only one clapping for him. He just like he wants me to stop. It's hilarious.
Stop liking me.
Yeah, basically. Oh fuck! I have to come back. I have to come back. I have to come back, dude, because now like I had a bunch of you on, so like.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
Anytime I come over there, I'm definitely gonna go to a cap show whenever this whole thing clears up.
It's literally the best thing I've ever saw, dude, since I went there. Deez too. If you ever come down to NY, go to a cap show.
I would love to, especially now that I've heard more about it.
Yeah. It just everyone's just so nice there. Like I think I've never met an asshole there besides MJF, but that's just him.
But that's a given. He's made children cry at cap shows.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, dude.
I've met an asshole before.
But yeah, definitely like I love going, dude. I hope this shit ends again so I could head out there, dude. You're like literally right down the road from me, so I just go.
Where are you from on Long Island?
Oh, I'm like Seaford, Massapequa. I'm by the
word. All right, cool.
Island Rec over here.
Oh, so you're by like Clash and like CPA and those guys. Okay.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I'm like
Don't give your address, Mike.
not
There's
giving
people
my address.
listening.
I'm by the Marshalls in Massapequa. I work there.
Yeah.
I work there. Unfortunately, it's a fucking
Yeah, a lot
hellhole.
of guys from there. A lot of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we were talking for like 2 hours.
Dude, it was actually 2 hours. Damn.
Yep.
That's wild.
Yep.
This is awesome. Yeah. Wait. You said like you haven't met a bunch of assholes, Mike. And,
No.
And like indie wrestling, I have.
Who you got? Go for it, dude.
So there's this wrestling organization like near Troy, Missouri. That was Harley Race's company. It was called WLW, World League Wrestling. And his son actually is in charge of it now.
Sure.
But I actually met there was this wrestler.
Drop it, bro.
No, it was what? What'd you say?
Drop the name, bro. Let's hear it.
I didn't know who he was at first, but then I found out originally that it was Luther. You guys remember Luther Reigns?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He had like a different character. He had like an eye patch, and he was like mean looking. And like I went up to say hi to him, and he just straight up looks at me. I was like 13, 14, like that. And he just goes, "Get the fuck out of my face with that shit."
No kidding.
I was like, and he gave me like the stone cold look, and it was like people weren't even, like people were laughing. He was just like, "No, I'm not." I stopped laughing. Like I'm not joking. Leave me the fuck alone. I was like, "Well, shit."
But like, it's
Wow,
not
that's crazy. What year was this?
This is like 2014. Like he's I forgot where he's from. Is he like? He's not from the U.S., is he?
Luther Reigns.
I
I don't
think he
think
is.
I've heard of him. Do I know him?
Yeah, he was
guys?
He was back in like
He
2000.
wheeled around Kurt Angle when Kurt Angle was GM and he was injured.
Yeah,
He
like
was like the GM of SmackDown. Yeah,
He was the wheelchair. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I might know him then.
fucking asshole.
Distant cousin of Roman Reigns.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, but like, he didn't even do it in a funny way. MJF does it in a funny way, him being an asshole. Like, I saw a video of him recently. He blew a fucking middle finger to someone, and it was hilarious. But like, this guy just did it to be a dick, I guess.
Yeah, he did. Like he was having a bad day, and
Yeah.
like even when he had his match, he was facing I think he was facing like Trevor Murdoch or something like that.
Mhm.
And yeah, Trevor Murdoch wrestles here, and like Trevor's one of the coolest guys in the world. Like he like I remember having like I have a conversation with him like about wrestling and stuff. Like he's super chill, and like he got like in an apparently Luther got in like a big altercation with somebody backstage, and like it was a whole mess.
Wow, no
like,
kidding, huh?
And the match was horrible too. Like they were the main events, and like they were going out right after like Leland Race was the champion at the time, and he was facing somebody that won a battle royal at the beginning of the show to get the title shots, and like that was a great match. But then these two old WWE guys come out, and like nothing against Trevor Murdoch at all. Trevor Murdoch he's super cool. He's an awesome guy, but yeah, it's just like it wasn't a good match. Like Luther obviously he looked like he didn't give a shit.
Like, he didn't want to be there at all?
Yeah, he did not want to be there apparently.
Have you ever been to an event, Bronze, like, wrestled at an event, and there was, like, assholes, like, any other asshole wrestlers there? Like that, I guess you could say?
No, to be honest, I've never really had a bad experience with anybody. I've heard stories,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, pretty much anybody I've come into contact with, I've had a good experience with.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just lucky when it comes to that.
Deez, you ever been to, like, an indie show, and that happened to you?
That something like that happened to me?
Yeah, well, like, any like, interaction like that.
I mean, I went to some CZW shows, which were pretty interesting.
In Jersey or in Connecticut?
Say that again.
Wait, well, like, did they come to Connecticut or did you go to Jersey for CZ Dub?
They came to Providence, Rhode Island a couple times.
Ooh, okay.
That's weird.
Yeah, so I went over there. I think it was
probably with Beyond.
What's that?
They probably worked with Beyond.
Yeah, they were probably doing something with Beyond because I've been to more Beyond shows than anything.
Word, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, as far as interactions like that, not really. I mean, Kevin Owens, had a couple like verbal interactions with him when he was Kevin Steen. Yeah, no, not really, man. But I've had some pretty cool experiences at some indie shows, though.
Yeah,
it's definitely a different atmosphere.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And I definitely suggest you check it out if you've never been to an indie show of any kind. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. It's not. It's definitely a once in a lifetime, man. If you haven't gone, so
you will get acknowledged at an indie show. That it's not like WWE where they just like don't acknowledge you. You will get pointed out at an indie show, like if they know you. That's the cool part.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, I do have to go.
Oh, well, let's end this off here. I guess let's do our outros. Bronson, go for it.
I'd love to. I mean, you guys are great. You guys are really, really fun to talk to and stuff like that. I'd love to come back on again sometime.
Moshcast, let's do it.
Definitely.
Next week, let's do something, dude. Hit me up.
Yeah, that's all right. Sounds good.
If you want to tell something to the fans watching, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. You can find me on Instagram at official_Bronson. Twitter, you can find me at Bear Bronson, capital BC.
Yeah.
And that's where you can find me on social media. And thank you guys so much, really, for having me. I wish I could be on for longer, but I'm getting called.
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks, dude.
No. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
really.
always a pleasure, my man.
Can I do my outro now?
Go for it, dude.
Yeah, do it.
All right, Mr. Bronson, you're gonna get a kick out of this.
Yeah, let's get it.
So thanks everyone for listening. Go check out the Moshcast with me and Mike and Craig and Will and all those guys. And just keep supporting the Tuck Your Chin podcast. It's the highest rising wrestling podcast ever. And of course, as always, I got to do it. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
It's his metal thing. It's hilarious.
Yep, that happens.
Go for it, Deez. I know you're always plug everyone. Do what Steep does if he was here.
Well, that's his job, but I would say thank you again for having me on the podcast.
Of course, dude.
Mike and Tuck Your Chin. Julian, always good talking to you.
Yeah.
Bear, great meeting you, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on, sharing a little bit about your story and yourself. I know I learned a lot today. I know a lot of other people are going to learn a lot, and that's why we do this stuff, Talk a little bit about wrestling, apparently talk a little bit about music, and
that you don't know.
Just a little bit about everything, a little bit about life. So, Hey, this has been a great episode. Guys, go on our YouTube channel, go to Tuck Your Chin Podcast, subscribe, like the videos, share the videos, tell everybody, even if they don't like wrestling, maybe they will after they listen.
Yeah.
Maybe they will after they check something out. So, thanks again for having me. And you can follow me at Deez, Joey Deez on Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Well, thank you.
I'd like to say one more thing. One quick thing. Go support this other account. We are trying to get it big. The Mike Schiff spam account.
Oh my goodness. We couldn't just go one episode without saying that.
Go support it. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. Follow this guy. Go request it. Hello, man.
Let me know when you break 100 followers, Mike.
I think
maybe I'll follow you.
And go listen to Joey's music. Joey's music is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, definitely. Listen to his music. Follow my spam account. Subscribe here.
Yes.
Follow Mike.Schiff on Instagram. Check us out. Check the Tuck Your Chin out on Instagram. And don't forget the Tuck Your Chin, shit happens. Peace out, guys.